So welcome to today's Greater Life Health CoffeeCast. And today's topic may seem to come from a place of pain in me. Yet I hope that as we navigate our journey together, as you sip your morning coffee or whenever you listen to this CoffeeCast, that actually from that pain will emerge some power, because from what we are going to discuss, which is the importance of feelings, will come the capacity for flourishing. So let me set the scene for you. Over the weekend, sadly, my partner let me know that she no longer wished to be in a romantic relationship with me. And this, was a really painful thing, because I really, really love her. And to have to recognize that we were simply at different stages in life. Her kids are all grown up. My kids are still quite young. And I am still learning certain very fundamental lessons about how to operate in life. She has long learnt those lessons. Now, it's of course the case that I brought different things to the table, but at this time, for her, the choice of being in a romantic relationship with me was not one that worked for her and her vision for her life. And so I can't have there's no kind of complaints about that. It is what it is. And it is what it is does not, however, negate the painful reality that because of the depth of the feelings, that there is going to need to be a time and a process of grieving. And my question is, how are you with grief? And it's a question I've asked previously because, I genuinely believe that a vast amount of the challenges we face in the world today, particularly in the West, are down to unprocessed grief, unacknowledged grief and unfelt feelings. And I guess the dissolution of the relationship had been on the cards for a while. And I'd been feeling that impending reality arriving. And it had been creating some anxiety in my system. And to deal with this, I had actually begun kind of singing songs to myself, almost like little mantras, and they'd been really powerfully helpful. And to share some context for this, I created a vision board at the start of my 41st year, and one of the phrases that I stuck on it, just knowing that it needed to be there but not knowing why, was the phrase, songs to soothe. Now, on this vision board is also an image of my now ex-partner throwing petals in the air, and it was an image that I put up there as an image of flourishing. For me, I wanted over this year to create a house and home and a family that is flourishing. And so on some level, it's a little bit awkward that perhaps I now have a picture of my ex-partner on my vision board for the year. Yet the reminder is more profound, because in my journaling, a little phrase came through as part of a song that I share with you now, in the hope that it may be of value, which is that everything I feel, it is helping me to flourish. And you may have other opinions of this, and I know that some people may disagree with this, but here is what I have come to learn through the work of people like Wilhelm Reich and more recently Eileen McCusick, that our unfelt emotions create trapped electrical charge in our bioelectric circuitry. And so what that means is the longer we have unfelt, unprocessed feelings, the longer we have trapped energy and electricity in our system, which long term is going to cause significant psychophysiological diseases, mental health challenges and physical health challenges. And so for me, I've been this weekend in a place of just really allowing myself to feel and let move through me the waves of grief that are there. And I'm still in that process, is the honest truth. And yet I know that out of the other side of this, will emerge a me that is even more capable of flourishing no matter what the circumstances are, because I've been allowing these feelings to move. And yet over the weekend I also had an example of hearing about a friend actually who is absolutely, like, sounds like the absolute embodiment of why Greater Life exists. So he's a friend of a friend who is 56, 57, and in the last few months has left his wife and children and has liquidated his business and is feeling utterly, utterly lost. And what we know is that when feelings are ignored for that long, usually drastic action like the type I've just described is going to be the consequence. Okay? And the clarity is very often is that if there is something present up front and centre in your life that is apparently causing feelings. So in my situation, it was my partner, my ex-partner, and yet the more I dug into it, beneath the surface, this was triggering, bringing up for me very old wounds, very old stuff, very old unfelt emotions. The impending dread I felt at her knowing that she was going to end the relationship was a direct trigger for the impending dread I would feel every single Sunday night before being helpless to prevent myself from going back to boarding school. And I would be taken from this home that I loved, this place that was just such a warm and safe and loving environment, to go back to this place where kindness, sensitivity, uniqueness, emotions, none of that was safe or an option. And I used to dread it, and I would have to, even though I quite enjoyed many aspects of school, I would just still, like every Sunday, I would just be like, ugh, and like this knot of dread, and I would just have to suppress it and shut it down. And that habit of just shutting down and suppressing this dread it obviously has become something that's almost just a pattern that's been ingrained in my life, until more recently I've been able to allow myself to begin these feelings, to let them move, to let these stuck electrical charges discharge. And so, as painful as it is that my partner ended our relationship, there is also a depth of profound gratitude, because it's allowed me to access, it has been a catalyst for accessing this stuff that occurred in my formative years that has been held, trapped in my system for so long. And so for you, if there is something in your life today that is causing, or apparently causing, really significant feelings and emotions that perhaps, it's a real edge for you to go to and allow yourself to feel, like, my invitation today is really to allow yourself to feel them, to understand that it is electrical charge that is discharging. The more you allow yourself to experience the sensations and let them move through you like a river, then the more you are discharging and bringing your system back into its core essential harmony. And indeed, allow yourself to ask, what is underneath this right now, what is presenting and what is underneath this apparent cause of these feelings. Okay? And my hope is that you may then take some solace from the process and know that everything you feel, it is helping you to flourish. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.